Alright guys, welcome to another beer review, and we're venturing over to Russia this time. I don't think I've actually had any beers that have been involved with a Russian brewery. I mean, I've had the Kvass beer, which was from Lakinskoe Svetloe and Raven Brewery out of, was it Serbia? I can't remember. That was an interesting one, not really my thing. Kvass in general just doesn't seem to be my thing, although I'd like to try some of the soft drink variants of the actual Kvass. That was more like an alcoholic one. But yeah, we've got some Russian lager, and there's like a sort of an Eastern European shop. I hate just labeling it as like an Eastern European shop, but I don't know how you'd really label them. Which is a little bit, about 5-10 minute walk. And I thought, oh, I'll give it a look, have a look inside. It's fairly new, although there was another one in the exact same building which closed down. They closed down and the new one opened up pretty much straight away. And yeah, so I went in there just for curiosity. I like going around these shops. I go around like the Oriental supermarkets as well. You find some really interesting things. And I thought, give a look, maybe have a look, see if they've got a few beers in there. I was expecting stuff like Lech, Pivzavod, Tisky, that sort of stuff, which they did have, but they had like a full wall full of different like Eastern European beers, and I was just like, what? But like all of them like less than €1 as well, like 500ml bottles. You could get like these big like 3 litre plastic bottles as well. And yeah, I had a little bit of change and I thought I'll pick up a few, and I picked up a beer from Russia. So this is, and you'll have to apologise for me looking off screen because I've had to look it up to see what the how you translate this, and I'm probably getting this completely wrong. So this is Lakinskoe Svetloe. I'm not too sure. I've probably completely mispronounced certain letters in that, but you can see by the title what it's called. And this is from the Lakinsky Pivzavod brewery, which is described as a microbrewery on Untapped, but I don't imagine it is a microbrewery. And this is pale lager, clocking in at 4.7%. So it was the label that drew me to this one. It's got that sort of like regal look to it. It's like cheap but elegant at the same time. And yeah, it's like if that supermarket selection was beer porn, it would be like the beer porn equivalent of like a free cam girl website, if that makes sense. It just blew. I was just so amazed at just the sheer range of these beers. So maybe every now and then I'll pick up a few and get a few like Russian, Czech, Polish. I think there was even like some Hungarian beers there. There was definitely some Ukrainian beers. Yeah, just amazing. I mean, that sort of stuff interests me more actually than the journey of craft beer a lot of the time. But yeah, so it's a pale lager from Russia. I'm really excited about this one. So let's see what we get. Whoops. Open the lid properly. Nice plume of smoke and an eruption. Excuse me. Look like a proper monk then doing that. And yeah, that's a lively beer for sure. And let's just put that there. So, beer in the glass then. Well, we've got about 4 fingers worth of actual beer, and then like 6 or 7 fingers worth of head. Yeah, that was quite lively. Probably should have let it rest a little, but I wasn't out for that long, and it's not like I was jumping everywhere. But yeah, beer in a glass then, and that is crystal clear. It's got a lovely sort of like a dark straw-like appearance to it. Very slight amber tone in there. Carbonation is now it's nice and gentle, but the head is slightly off-white, very compact looking head, and yeah, it's what you would expect from a European pale lager style. Yeah, doesn't look too bad aside from the absolutely atrocious pour, but that, it's a problem on my end, I suppose, as opposed to the beer itself. Uh, but yeah, 4.7%. There is English on the back, I think. No, there is German though. I mean, it's got the German language, and you can actually take this bottle back as deposit. Don't know where they'd accept a bottle like this though. But yeah, no English. But quite a few other languages. So I don't know exactly. Well, let's just have a look at the German ingredients list. It's got roasted malts, hops, and yeast. So I don't know if there's been any extract or adjuncts in this one. Don't think there has. And this was exported, or imported, I should say, by Monolith Sud, who are out of Hedemberg. So yeah, I'll put all the information down below so you can check it out. And I'm sure if any of my potential Russian subscribers or Russian viewers who have come across this page, first of all, apologies about the terrible mispronunciation. If they could give me a bit more information. I also love hearing back from people about these beers, especially from places where I never thought I'd be able to really try too many Russian beers. I mean, there's stuff like Baltica. They're almost a whole range of Baltica. Well, stuff that's widely available anyway. It's just it genuinely blew my mind. It really did. Very, very impressed. So yeah, there's lots of beers for me, Harry, and Dean to potentially do live beer reviews of. So, but yeah, the head's back to the beer subsided pretty quickly, and yeah, it's actually looking like a beer now. So, gone on for nearly 7 minutes. Haven't even tasted the bloody thing. Let's give it a sniff first, though. It's just got that sort of like general lager aroma. It's got a little bit of sweetness in there. Has that like buttered popcorn vibe going on. A little bit grainy. It's got that. I don't know if you can smell smoothness, but that's what I'm sticking with. And a very mild smelling beer. No off notes or anything like that. Anyway, let's give it a Let's give it a taste. Cheers. It's a little bit odd, actually. First of all, the thing that I'm not a massive fan of, very light body. Not really much carbonation either to help lift it. Maybe a slight prickliness on the tongue. It's got like this very like toned down Werther's Original sort of flavour, that butterscotch sweetness to it. But not in a... I mean, it's not offensive like I'd imagine diacetyl to be when there's been faults in the brewing process. But it's got like this genuine like butter popcorn flavour to it. But it's not sickly sweet or anything like that. It's almost got the makings of a Märzen in terms of this like very gentle caramel sweetness. It's not really offensive, but it's not exactly the most satisfying tasting note either, which is a shame. Well, yeah, I mean, it does look a bit darker than your regular pale lager, so it is almost getting to that fest beer Märzen sort of stage. Very smooth. Almost has like a golden ale, like really traditionally British brewed real ale, golden ale sort of vibe going on with this one. Get a slight presence of syrupiness, which sort of reminds me of some of the beers that have used like hop or malt extract. Lovely hop bitterness on the back end that finishes the beer really nicely. But it's got this sort of like, it leaves that sensation in your mouth when you've had like powdered ginger in a dish, and it sort of like lingers on the tongue, or like the aftermath of like cinnamon. There might even be, speaking of cinnamon, very subtle cinnamon tones in there. There's like a very gentle like sweet nuttiness as well. I mean, those flavours are nice, but the body's too thin, so it's a bit weird on the palate, if that makes sense. Is it an offensive beer? No. Is it a great beer? Far from it. It's a drinkable beer. If I'd have chilled it down a little bit more, it would have obviously been a bit more refreshing and pleasant. But as it is now, I don't know, it's like, it also has like a pumpkin, like a pumpkin soup. And the spices that you put in a pumpkin soup, the seasonings of a pumpkin soup, and that earthiness from a pumpkin or a potato, that sort of thing. I'm getting those sorts of characteristics. Well, I'm happily going to finish it. Would I buy it again? I don't think so. It was nice to try a Russian beer. I think I picked up another Russian beer, or maybe two more. I might have actually just picked up 3 Russian beers today, unintentionally, which I'll be reviewing over the week or so. Yeah, it's interesting. It's got like little intricacies that you wouldn't expect with a pale lager, but I can't say, oh, it's got typical Russian lager flavours, because I've never had a Russian lager up to this point, so I wouldn't make that leap. It's just got it's a little bit different at the end of the day. So in terms of a rating then, on the Lakinskoe Svetloe, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It sort of reminds me of Putin. You know, you see this like guy, very stern face. He looks like he can handle himself. But when he opens his mouth, it's like, okay. Not that I'm dissing Putin, of course. What a way to alienate potentially new viewers. I'm quite neutral on him, to be honest. It's good banter. He seems pretty damn cool. But shut up, Peter. Anyway, 6 out of 10. If you've tried this one, as always, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. Apologies again to any Russian-speaking people watching this review. Although, look out in the future for more Russian beers, so stick along. And yeah, if any of my friends have reviewed this one, their reviews are down below. Check out the brewery, check out the importer, that sort of thing. Check out my lager playlist for more. And hopefully next time I'll be a little bit more coherent. So thank you guys for watching, and my hair looks absolutely terrible in this video. See you guys later.